Tell me that we're live. Okay, we are live. Third time is the charm. I don't understand it. That's 2 days in a row. Something there must be like a bug in the wires somewhere of the internet. But we are live now. Welcome to the morning show, everybody. Spencer Israel, Steve Strazza. No JC today. He's lost his voice. He lost his voice. So kind of hard to do a morning show and talk about things when you can't physically talk. We'll all just have to settle for reading his tweets. What are you going to do? But the show must go on. We have a new guest today. New guest alert. I have to get myself a new guest siren. I will do that this weekend. I'll get a bunch of sound effects this weekend. Tony the Bull Severino is going to join us to talk crypto at 9 o'clock. Which is great because Louis is sick. So it's still Crypto Friday. So we got a crypto guest. So no JC, no Louis, but I got Steve. I got Kenny. I got you. What else do we need? We have CPI? Come on. What's not to love about CPI? Who doesn't love inflation? No? All right. Let's get the show on the road. I got Steve here. Let's bring him out and let's do this. Smash the like. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on?
JC went to Las Vegas. He presented so hard that he lost his voice.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Does that mean we get more tweets?
I don't know, honestly. JC's attitude towards Twitter has to be one of my favorite attitudes, which is I don't give a fuck. He just doesn't care.
It's true.
True. He's gonna tweet what he's gonna tweet. He doesn't even. I don't even know if he reads the responses. I know what he does because he responds to them. So, but yeah, he just doesn't care. Rachel says he killed it,
and no Louis either. Another man down. Louis been sick all week.
I know Louis is recovering from some kind of a bug, but it's still Crypto Friday, so we got Tony the Bull Severino to talk crypto with us today. Very excited for that. Very excited. I love when we have new guests on the show. Actually, if that was from a few weeks ago when I asked you all to email me or put in the chat who you want to get on the show. Someone suggested Tony, so you asked and I delivered.
Nice.
Do you want to talk about
CPI? CPI today, too.
Yeah. Do we care? The markets care a little bit.
September CPI was softer than expected. Core prices rose 0.23% in September, lowering the 12-month core CPI to 3.0%. Headline prices rose 0.31%, and CPI is 3% over the prior 12 months.
Mm-hmm. It was light. It was light year over year and month over month, and the market's like that.
Spencer, what do you know about Supercore CPI?
Did that come out of COVID? Do you remember? I don't remember when I first started hearing about Supercore CPI. That may have been a COVID phenomenon.
It's new. It's relatively new. I
think it was COVID. Because everything was so messed up that they were like, core. We have regular and we have core, but core ain't enough. It ain't core enough. We gotta go super core.
So core, it's always been funny to me because core strips out the two most important things,
right?
To most people, like what most people see is food and energy,
right?
Which you pay at the pump and the grocery store, right? So core strips that out,
right?
And then, as if that's not enough,
housing.
Supercore strips out the last.
We don't need the housing. We don't need food. We don't need energy. We don't need the housing. Just forget it.
So eventually, nothing's left. They're going to do a Uber core CPI in a couple of years, and it's just going to strip out everything.
Yeah. If you take out the things that we need, nothing is going. Prices aren't going up. If you just ignore the things that we all need to live and survive. as a society. But
super core, actually harder than hardcore.
so hardcore.
All right. So yeah, the CPI was fine, I guess. Market reaction is what really matters.
That's right.
On this good crypto Friday, pretty muted. Pretty muted. You got Bitcoin up a little bit over 1% here. S&P 500 futures actually up 0.7% now. So
I mean, there was a little bit of a move. There was a spike. Right?
Wow. You are getting a bit of a move. Very nice.
Small caps. Look at the Russell futures up 1.4% right now. It was up more, but still.
Literally just happened. That's great. So they love the CPI. Maybe you should care, Spencer. Maybe you should care about the Supercore CPI.
I care about energy and food and housing. Those are the only things I spend money on, basically. I don't spend money anywhere else.
What was I just yelling backstage? I don't care about inflation. Rates are coming down, and you're seeing it today. Wow. 2 year.
Let's pull
falling off a cliff here. No. But yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So on the chat, tell us when is the next Fed meeting. I don't keep that information in my brain.
Spencer, do you own enough bonds?
No, not I don't own. There's many things I do not own enough of. Actually, I don't own enough of anything. Maybe I own enough S&P 500. That's the only thing I own enough of. Right? I don't own enough of anything else. I don't own enough bonds. I don't own enough gold, commodities in general, crypto. I don't own enough of any of it.
You know, it's a feeling many people get in bull. That's a bull market feeling that you're having.
I'm over-indexed, that's for sure.
Traders add to bets on 2 more Fed rate cuts this year.
Next week.
Some movement in Fed funds.
No, it was next week. Thank you, Chad. Next Wednesday.
Ethereum back above 4,000. And you know, everyone was really worried. So I guess the good people are back to work at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They came out this morning and said, don't worry, investors, September CPI data was collected before the lapse in appropriations.
I saw a headline that the Federal Reserve lost access, in addition to losing access to like government data, because there is none, they lost access to ADP jobs data as well. So that's good. So they're data dependent. They're data dependent, but they don't have the data. So,
oh no, not the ADP. All right, so yeah, everything looking good here. Nick Timiraos is the Fed whisperer.
That's right.
So he, I guess, put a tweet out at 8:35 that I just read before. But that's really it. Softer than expected. That's what the market wants right now. No?
Yeah.
Some news about crypto and the JP Morgan?
Oh yeah, that was a headline. I mean, there's a few headlines. That was one of the headlines. But yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't even know this was a thing. I assumed it already was a thing, but JP Morgan is now allowing you to use your Bitcoin and ETH as collateral.
Okay, so that's a vague fucking headline.
I didn't even know that you couldn't do that. Maybe that's just
collateral for what?
I'm assuming
in a margin account.
What do you mean? Margin? Yeah.
To buy a home?
What do banks lend money for? Anything, right? I don't know.
What did JC use it? What was JC doing with? He was doing some crazy stuff with the NFTs, wasn't he?
He was not using it as collateral.
Yeah, he was.
He was using NFTs as collateral. In what world?
I wish he was here. We'll ask him Monday. I don't want to misspeak about it. Yeah, he's doing some cool stuff. So JP Morgan loves crypto.
Wait. What? Did JP Morgan upgrade Coinbase today? Is that real? That's funny. That is that true? They Coinbase, did. They upgraded Coinbase to overweight. From 342 to 404. Nice.
You know what?
Chinese walls. They're great.
That's awesome. Good for them. Because they can do that. So why shouldn't they? So So these headlines are like back to back on my feed.
Oh God, that is funny.
JP Morgan is now allowing Ethereum and Bitcoin as collateral for and Coinbase's upgrade to overweight by JP Morgan price target raised to 404 from 342. JP Morgan busy this morning also raises Intel to 30 from 21, not nothing. Reiterates overweight on T-Mobile US, $300 price target. Upgrades Tractor Supply. SoFi raises SoFi target price to 26 from 24. Come on, do better than that.
Dude, I used to look at analyst ratings pretty much every day. I gotta say, in the last year and a half, I've stopped.
Yeah, they said.
I've gone basically cold turkey. I basically never look. I can pull them up right now for today if you want, and I can show you. I can just rip through, what they all are, but I don't look anymore. So, yeah, I've just stopped using it as like a source of information. I don't care.
There's better things you could do in the morning. You know?
Yeah.
I got my JP Morgan hat on.
I would care more if I was like Kenny and I was trading maybe at 7 o'clock in the morning. That matters at 7 a.m. Doesn't really matter at 9:30.
Yeah, you used to get some nice pops on analyst moves.
You still probably can. I mean, Goldman Sachs is still at the top of the food chain. When Goldman Sachs upgrades or downgrades the stock, they can probably move it throughout the morning.
And there are certain boutique firms that will come out and move stocks with their notes.
Who is considered the mover and shaker in that space? Every industry has one, but you have to know who that person is and where they work. But yeah, it's just so much noise. So I've stopped. I stopped caring.
The chat agrees with you. I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Kenny, I see Kenny backstage. Let's bring him out in a second. Before we do, were there any other movers? I mean, shout out to you. Did you buy Ford yesterday, Steve? Because they had a banger of a report last night. So
we're in the Ford.
You're in the Ford. Nice job.
Up 3.5%.
Yeah.
But like, isn't the way it works with these guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like Ford moves on GM's report, and then theirs comes a couple days later, and it's typically not much different.
I think their reports are almost always they move in lockstep, right?
Yeah, it's one of those situations. So GM came out with the breakaway gap on earnings up 15% last Tuesday. And so Ford got some good action on that and now following through higher. Both these charts, say what you want. I know we've already talked about it recently. They look great. Just really good charts.
You want to know how you know you're in a bull market? We're looking at GM and Ford. That's how you know.
GM is making new all-time highs.
Well, all-time highs for this version of the stock.
This is all I have on my chart, Spencer.
I'm sorry. I
don't know anything that happened before 2010.
Nothing happened before 2010. There was a blank slate, not black. Just
it's a new company.
Nothing. Yeah. Didn't exist.
Speaking of government investments.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about that quantum shit from yesterday? That's funny.
Did anything happen though?
No, the government denied it. The government denied it, and the stocks didn't. They went down a little bit, but
no, they didn't. They never cared.
A little bit.
Intel, everyone and their mother are coming out with some sort of price target change or note on Intel this morning, up 7% on earnings.
Report. Mm-hmm. Big move.
The Intel CFO says the company is blazing a new trail with 18A. Admitted yields are good enough to meet supply needs, but still short of where they need to be for healthy margins. We're talking that book. He expects them to hit industry acceptable levels by the end of next year. In other words, Intel saying we should start to do as well as everybody else. For once. So Intel acceptable levels by the end of next year and fully stabilize the year after.
So 5 weeks ago, this was a $24 stock. It's $40 right now. So 24 to 40 in 5 weeks has got to be the biggest move for Intel since .com. Right.
Doesn't it feel like we're saying that all the time? This is the biggest move for Walmart. This is the biggest move for Intel. This is the biggest move for healthcare. I don't know. A lot of big moves.
I bet you Kenny's fading Intel right now. You know what? I'm almost sure he's fading Intel right now.
You know what? Kenny loves a little soft CPI. Kenny loves it soft.
Kenny,
it's good.
Kenny, am I right?
Kenny likes it soft.
My money's on Kenny. He's currently short or has been short Intel this morning. Let's find out. I think I'm right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Hold up. Yeah.
Am I right?
Definitely a bubble. This market's going to crash any day now.
Where are we short Intel?
My computer is down now, so I don't even know. So I'm short Intel, I think. I'm not even sure. I got internet problems, so I hope it's going down. It broke VWAP about an hour ago. Is it under $40.50 right now?
Yes.
Well, that's good. I'm just waiting for my computer to refresh.
It's 4023.
By the way, nobody upgrade to the 2 gig Verizon package. It's the worst. I've got spotty internet ever since. It didn't increase the speed. And all I do is get spinning dials now on my TV and my internet. And then it just craps out on you. So that's a good time. And it's also monopoly because I got no choice. Is anybody using Starlink? I don't know. Does this satellite internet work any well?
JC has it for his Pocono thing, his cottage or whatever. But
I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in a monopoly. I'm like in a dictatorship over here. I can't even get another plan, so I'm screwed.
Yeah. Well, the good news is you're making money on your Intel.
I hope so, but I'm not making any money short in the queues. So
something just happened. I think there was like a fat finger on Intel just there. It got down to like
that's the anomaly. That's the anomaly print from last night. It just
I'm
delayed.
Those delayed prints. Those FINRA crosses. That's a market structure thing. Yeah.
But let me talk about what this market is all about. If you guys want to see what we do in the Hit the Bid chat room, after you saw me do the after hours on Tesla, we walked through the Tesla trade for 2.5 hours as if I had lived that day before. And it did a faux show, bro, 3 times in one day. And at 425, when it finally just lifted off, we had all the targets from all the multiple time frame VWAPs, and we just sat there for 2.5 hours just watching it go to the next level. Okay, now it's going to go here, it's going to go here, and then it's going to go parabolic. And if you guys want to watch a nice show for 2 hours, watch me trading IBM and Tesla yesterday, and you'll want to be a part of what we're doing because that would have paid for not just your year.
Was that in the room or was that in the schmooze?
2 hours. No, it was 2 hours. The midday show.
Oh, midday show. Okay, yesterday. At 11, so the replay is up on YouTube right now.
Yes,
at 11 a.m. yesterday, Kenny went live.
Yes, it was one of my best performances.
And I'm gonna tweet a short clip after the show here of Kenny calling Tesla as it happened. Right.
Well, nothing was better than the day after because you actually got the stock to go down first to give us another shot at it at a better price. And it was extraordinary, especially IBM. And again, the premise is easy. We're never going down, right? The market doesn't go down anymore. So if you get to buy 2 of the most popular stocks that's ever been on a gap down day, just wait for some confirmation, and that's VWAP. And IBM wound up going up 20. Tesla wound up going about 30. And the hits keep on coming. So incredible.
I feel like you just said the magic words there. You snuck it in there, but it was just wait for confirmation. That applies for everyone, for everything, for every side of the market, for every time horizon. Just your life is better if you just wait for confirmation, right?
That's right.
Just wait for something to confirm your idea.
Here's another saying for you. Better to be late and right than early and wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want somebody to explain to me, why are we cutting interest rates? I still don't get it. I thought we cut interest rates in times of trouble to stimulate the economy. What's going on here? Why are we not raising interest rates? Because we should be at 5.5% to 7.5% right now, and everything would be fine, considering I've all my loans are paid for and I'm sitting in a lot of cash. So why don't we raise interest rates? Come on now. This is ridiculous.
Well,
But
lucky
seriously, I
you.
wanna have this
Lucky you.
conversation. Why are we cutting interest rates? Why is everything data related?
And there it goes. Did we lose Kenny?
So I was wrong. Apparently, Kenny likes his inflation hard.
Wait a minute. Kenny, you're back. What the hell?
Oh,
Kenny back.
yeah, I told you. That's it. I'm getting intermittent losses here. So good luck, my friends. This is my life. I'll be trying to trade with using smoke signals today. Great. Fantastic. Get the tom-tom drums out. I hope that
Hit the bid.com, guys. Trade with Kenny. Steve, what were you
I would have taken him as a low rate guy.
If you don't need to borrow money or anything, then why do you care what interest rates are at?
The real estate market is starting to crack, says Andrew Thompson. Also said everyone for the last 3 years.
I don't. It's definitely. I mean, look. It's idiosyncratic.
Starting?
It's so localized. It depends where you are. Steve's market is so different than my market, right? My market is pretty frozen. Prices are not going up, but they're not going down. Steve's market is totally different, right?
And these are like real markets. This isn't technology. Some real lag times here. Every region's different. Real estate is starting to crack.
I don't think that's true. I just think it's not. I think sellers are still sort of they've been spoiled. Let's be honest. If you're a seller, you've been spoiled for a few years. So I think the days of prices or homes getting listed and then the instant bidding wars on day one, I think those days might be over, but that doesn't mean the market's crashing. Or
they come and go.
Yeah. It's low rates would theoretically be better for that, but don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think things will be just fine there. Maybe
I think most of the time, most of the things are just fine, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Before we bring on Tony, let's see. Did we talk about Target? It's up this morning, right? It's up a little bit. They're doing their first major corporate layoff in a very long time. So definitely should get Jeff. I'm sure Jeff will discuss that today. He does his weekly video for members of the Mackie portfolio. I'm sure he'll be talking about Target. What else did I have here on my list to discuss? Oh, I wanted to bring up. Can we bring up chart? What is it? What is slide 3? Do we have the slide that I dropped from Grant? Yeah, I just thought this is good. If you don't read the daily number, guys, this chart is courtesy of our own Grant Hawkridge. We talked about this a few months ago. We talked about the seasonal weakness, right? Oops, didn't happen. So
they say that's good.
That is very notable.
That's bullish.
Yeah. If you want to see this chart, get charts like this every single day, the link is on the screen. Grant's been doing his email for about a year. It's been like 53 or 54 weeks. So happy 1 year anniversary to Grant on the daily number. I'll give you guys a bit of inside info. The daily number is consistently the most engaged, or the email with the highest engagement that our team sends. It is a great email.
Quick hits, awesome charts that you're not getting other places. The very unique charts. Grant's really, he's our stat guy. He's our quant. Does that meme? Meet my quant. It's Grant Hawkridge, everybody.
Look at his eyes. Grant is our quant. We love him. Okay, the daily number. Great stuff from Grant. What else was on my list here? I had the Target thing. I had the daily number. We talked about CPI. We talked about Ford. I don't know. Was there anything on the movers list that jumps out to me before we bring Tony out? Not really. Kind of quiet out there. I mean, crypto. Crypto is not quiet, so probably should bring him out and talk about that.
Crypto, I think why it's good here right now. We were on Twitter Spaces Tuesday, and Frank Capillari was there with us hanging out, which has been awesome. He's been dropping in on the spaces, and we finally bring up crypto like 40 minutes into the spaces, and he goes, "You know what? The most important thing about crypto today is the sentiment read that it took us 42 minutes to talk about a chart of crypto."
Is that good or bad?
Right? No, it's good.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, like, forget about it. Yeah. No, they're
Yeah.
digging in. They're digging in where they needed to. I was complaining, and I continue to think, when you get a shakeout like the one it was looking like we maybe had in Bitcoin, right? Like the bears tried to take it, complete that top failed. You expect a fast move higher and still haven't got it, right? So
Yeah.
the faster that those reactions come, typically the swifter they are. So like every passing day, I'm kind of less bullish. Yeah, you want to see that automatic reaction higher. Maybe it's coming. Saturdays are for the cryptos. Sundays.
Let's bring on Tony. Let's talk crypto.
Mhm.
It's Crypto Friday after all. We must.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Tony, the Bull, Severino, welcome to the morning show.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
What is your overall feeling and sentiment right now on where things stand with crypto?
Yeah, so the things you guys were talking about right before I came on kind of play well into my where I'm at, and we had that enormous washout a couple Fridays ago, and that kind of leaves me at a point of really watching and waiting to see how we respond to that. When it happens, buyers stepped in. There's a big long wick on the chart. That's a good thing, and like Steven was saying, what you want to see then is kind of a sharper upside reaction at some point. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. And if we don't get it, the more sort of bearish I'll become. I'm also seeing an interesting inflection point where Bitcoin seems to be almost teetering a little bit more towards the bearish side from a momentum standpoint. But altcoins, they're still so low and undervalued. There's some things going on in the chart that could potentially hint at, this altcoin season that, the crypto people have been waiting for so long. And I think at this point have just about given up on. And, as we all know, sometimes things happen right as everybody sort of gives up and capitulates. So, that very well could be the case in terms of the altcoin market right now. And I think, the quiet is good for the time being. People are kind of same boat, watching and waiting to see what happens.
Do you have a line in the sand for Bitcoin?
Truly, I'm playing this as a range right now, so okay. I can't get bullish.
Or a range in the sand then? Yeah.
So I can't get bullish again until we make another new all-time high. I want to continue to see higher highs, higher lows type thing. And then, if we go below that, I want to say it was like maybe 87K or something we hit back in April. Then I think the market structure is kind of done for, and we'll see, more of an extended bear market type thing. So it's pretty big range.
I mean, that's a ways away. So that would be pretty. When you say altcoins are undervalued, how are you looking for lows? What types of altcoins are you talking about? What's your threshold there?
Yeah, so I'm actually an interesting guy when it comes to crypto. To be honest, I think 99.8% of it is kind of like shit, garbage. You know what I mean? Like it's worthless. So when I say
it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. So when I say altcoins, look like they could do well, I'm really kind of talking collectively about the index charts. Obviously, there'll be some that do a lot better. From a fundamentals perspective, some have a little bit better fundamentals behind them, and there's some value there. Some of them are absolute garbage and completely worthless. But yeah, so what I'm seeing in this others chart that you have pulled up right now is very similar looking corrective phase in that sort of green ellipsis there. And even the bottoming structure is very similar. You know, it hit the 50-month moving average that I have there highlighted in green when it actually bottomed on each sort of cycle, and now it's spent the rest of the halfway point of the cycle retesting the 50-month MA. And you know, you can see that back in 2020, that COVID wick looks just like kind of where we're at right now, and you know, that volatility sort of sparked. Alongside, you know, stimulus, QE, and all these other things that you know supported that bull run, but we immediately rebounded into a bull run. So just like Stephen was saying, you know, I'm looking to see some sort of sharper upside reaction. In this particular chart, it happened a month later. And yeah, in this one, I've got this marked out showing sort of like the A level support was taken out on the C wave. You know, we also had some reports from JP Morgan and Bank of America this week talking about how the Fed is more than likely going to end its quantitative tightening program by the end of this month. You know, the reverse repo facility is like almost completely drained, and you know, there's just they got to do something here. So you know, that's what everybody's looking at, and I wonder, you know, I don't expect it to have sort of the same effect as QE, because it's not QE end of QT, but you know, perhaps the end of QT is enough to sort of you know, create this upside move and kind of flip the sentiment, especially after support holding so well after such a, you know, a nasty liquidation event.
Both of these charts are the total crypto market cap X the top 10, right?
Yes. Yeah, so this is the others. So this is looking at everything outside of the top 10.
Right. How often do you look at this chart all the time?
I look at this chart all the time. I look at all the indexes all the time. You know, sometimes I like to look at the total too to get a better sentiment read on altcoins as a whole. But I do feel like the others, it's similar to like watching the Russell that you guys were talking about earlier. It's showing you the small cap strength. But for the crypto market. So yeah, it's an important one for me because they're the furthest out on the risk curve. So when you start to see those do kind of well, you know, it gives you a better sense of like, you know, risk appetite's returning, it's picking up, and can potentially spill over into these other coins. Now, from my own personal sort of standpoint and my portfolio itself, I mostly stay heavily invested in like the top 10 cryptocurrencies. I'm not a big risk taker in terms of some of these lower caps and small caps. Occasionally I do, especially if the chart looks good and supports it. But I'm big on diversification and choosing very safe, sound, fundamental investments around crypto, which is hard. It's not easy.
So you're not getting junky. You might look at the junk, but you ain't getting junky.
No. I find every time I go and play in that meme coin casino, I end up getting like destroyed. So it's you just gotta be lucky in those, and you know, maybe I'm not lucky enough for a meme coin casino.
Hey Tony.
Hey Steve, how's it going?
We got to talk about this shirt, I think.
Yeah. Fiat
Before we
currencies,
talk about
man.
crypto anymore. Yeah. Is this your so we call it Crypto Friday here on the morning show? We got excited for Crypto Friday. Is this like your Crypto Friday shirt? Is it a bull market shirt?
It's, you know what? I just wanted to spruce up a bit to come on the morning show.
I love it. Are those different? Those are different currencies from different countries. Am I seeing that right?
All different currencies. Yeah. And
where does one get a shirt like that? Asking for a friend.
This is a Robert Graham. So I happened to just be at a Robert Graham outlet and see it, and was like, oh man, I was planning for a trip to Vegas. So I figured what better to wear for Vegas, right?
Good shirt.
That's what he wears when he's taking profits.
That's right.
That's right.
So do you have like any favorite children among the big blue chip cryptos? Like I'm a big Solana guy. Do you have any favorites, or what do you think when you look?
Yeah, I was literally just going to say Solana. I think, you know, we saw what Ethereum has done as sort of like the lead smart contract network blockchain, and Solana is faster, has kind of a lot more things going for it. You know, like all these, I was just talking meme coin casinos, they're all on Solana. So I think that's really the standout for me of the top 10. You know, they're a little bit outside the top 10, but like I really like Chainlink. I think that's a really good one. There's a coin called Ondo, which is lower down the list, to be honest, that I really like because, you know, BlackRock's always talking about it involved, and it's like the tokenization of real world assets and things like that.
This is like a legit tokenization play. This is ONDO.
Yes, Ondo. Yeah.
Digging in
So
at the
yeah,
lower bounds.
very strong coin for my portfolio. Top 10. Yeah. So it's funny, like, a couple coins that, I mean, I'm mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. I overweight my crypto side of my portfolio towards those. And then, the rest I'll sort of dabble in and out. But like, like a Cardano, I don't really care. XRP I hold. That was a really great play. I want to say like late last year.
What's your time horizon? Are you rotating in and out? Are you mostly just long-term bull? I mean, your handle is Tony the Bull, so I would imagine you're just long-term bull, but do you do any rotation inside of that?
I do, yeah. So I'm kind of always taking positions and hopping in and out, scaling in and out. I would say do probably 80% of my stuff via spot. And then I keep separate accounts open for, derivatives trades. So my time horizon is sometimes even years at a time, but usually months, say 3 to 6 months. I like to stay in a position for spot. And then everything else I'll day trade. I'll day trade derivatives when I see volatility, a good setup in the charts or something like that. And when I do trade derivatives, it's primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum. I find the volatility to be just way too much on leverage for some of these other coins. But I will kind of, I'll dip my toes every once in a while. I'm still a crypto guy. Still like to play with leverage and things like that. It's right before that big washout. I had stopped trading leverage for most of the year. Took a huge position out on Litecoin, had this great 4-hour chart breakout. It was up like 18%. I went away for my anniversary vacation. And as I was driving, the wipeout happened. And I ended up, having a loss after I was up like thousands of dollars. So, but that, that's the game we play. And just kind of is what it is. But yeah, some of those lower cap coins are just too volatile for me, and I care a lot about volatility. I'm an unusual crypto guy in the sense where I loaded up on precious metals years ago to kind of smooth out some of the volatility in my portfolio, and that ended up being really well. I haven't done as well in crypto this year as I have previous years, but the metals totally kept my portfolio well in the green.
Nice. Go ahead, Spencer.
You're walking. You can't own crypto and gold. That's contradicts the whole mission of crypto, right?
Right? Isn't that? I mean, that's the thought process. But for me, I've always kind of liked the idea of harder assets, limited supplies, and especially for gold, I really love the idea that you can hold it. Part of the idea to start getting into gold around COVID was I literally just wanted to buy a gold chain for myself, and I was like, I got it. This is, I tell my wife, and I'm gonna buy this gold chain, and it's like it's not just a chain I get to wear; it's an investment, And from there, I started buying up gold bars and rolled into silver bars, and that ended up being a really good thing for me.
You're also just liking gold and Bitcoin at the same time. You're just being a good trend follower, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah. Trends persist until they don't anymore, and might as well follow it. So, that's the reason why I'm not fully bearish on, say, Bitcoin yet, because it's still been in an uptrend. And
where it needs to, at least, right?
Exactly. And I think the relationship between gold and Bitcoin is also really important. I think people, especially in the crypto world, are very much expecting for Bitcoin to go as soon as like gold cools off.
Yeah,
there's some correlation in the charts to suggest that may happen, but the truth of the matter is it's more of a mathematical thing for me. Gold hit $30 trillion market cap like a week or two ago or something like that.
Incredible.
Now, Bitcoin's market cap is at like 2.25 or something like that trillion. So like even like a 10% drop in gold is more market cap wise than all of Bitcoin. So there is potential for some of this gold capital to roll into a Bitcoin if there's people like me who do like a Bitcoin and gold, and just the absolute size difference in these market caps, it could move the needle a lot. So that that's what I'm waiting to see.
It's a great point too. And these markets are just so massive. Like what Tony's saying is it doesn't take much. It could be very material to small market like Bitcoin. And I think you could say the same thing about government bonds right now, treasury market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin is an alternative for these things, whether we like it or not. So those fund flows matter.
Absolutely.
Tony, can we bring up this chart that you sent over, the cycle projection chart? This is Bitcoin right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, can we pull that up, guys? Thank you.
Yeah, so I wanted to add this to
Nice.
this because I'm clearly sort of looking more towards the upside in altcoins, and that's not something that usually happens, that altcoins do really well if Bitcoin isn't doing well. So now what I have here is the cyclical projections measured from bottom to bottom, and it's projecting a bottom sort of towards the maybe Q4, Q3, Q4 2026. And it's the tops don't necessarily line up perfectly with the crests, but you can definitely see how the cycles sort of start to begin to roll as these semicircles also begin to roll over. Momentum, which is I'm showing off through the LMACD below, is also starting to roll, and we have this confirmed bearish crossover last month on the LMACD. And in every single instance of a bearish crossover before, we had a 70% drop in Bitcoin within the vicinity of this crossover. Sometimes the crossovers happened after the drop, like over in 2013 here. Sometimes the crosses happen after the top, like in 2018 here. And then in one instance in 2021, we actually rose 50% in Bitcoin before the actual 70% drop happened. So I'm not saying like, oh, it's dead and over right now, but at the very least, it's showing that momentum is starting to teeter more towards the bearish side. And maybe if it doesn't go fully bearish, at the very least, we could be looking at a few more months of sideways in Bitcoin, where this is like, we really don't have a clear direction. And in that environment, maybe there is some opportunity for altcoins to go up. Altcoins do tend to like sideways, boring Bitcoin. But again, if we start to teeter over and we trend towards this sort of rhythmical, cyclical bottom here that is mapped out, I would then think that altcoins end up not doing well, and maybe perhaps they see another like down in what has been in a very extended and nasty bear market. So yeah, confusing time. I definitely see inflection point, and am probably taking a little bit more cautious approach than I have over the last few years.
I think this is great perspective. I look at a chart like this and I think to myself, okay, like you take a step back and say, if the cycle peak were already in for Bitcoin, shouldn't shock anybody. Not saying it has to be that. Like you said, another one of these instances, we went up another 70% or something even after the bearish signal.
Yep.
It's always different. Every cycle is going to be a little bit different, but we've come a long way. Bitcoin's had a great run, and if that was it, it wouldn't be crazy based on history.
Exactly. Pretty much exactly what I'm trying to show here. And, everybody does know cycles can change. There's a pretty good proof of a 4-year cycle, and even in the SPX throughout history. So like this cycle exists, but once everybody sort of notices a cyclical pattern like that and is starting to play it, the market does have ways of kind of screwing everybody over and throwing them for a curveball. So maybe that's what happens here, but at the very least, there is at least some probability that the cycle could be near its end, and that's why I'm not necessarily going all in on altcoins right now.
No, I love that, Tony. This is great. And that technical analysis for you, as soon as we figure it out and all start talking about it, it stops working.
Yeah, always, right?
That's the secret about it. You don't talk about it, and nobody will know.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Tony, before you go, how about like crypto stocks? Do you dabble with the crypto equities at all, or you don't need them? You'll go get leverage on Bitcoin, Ethereum, the actual coins themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And, there are some out there that have been interesting to me, but I'm also like, I don't like the MicroStrategy trade whatsoever.
That's what I'm really
I personally think Saylor's kind of a lunatic and just rubs me the wrong way. I see that as almost like a bomb waiting to go off, where there's some big unwinding or something like that, leverage unwinding. So I don't know, that's always very
Steve, he's speaking straight to your heart, man.
Tony, I agree with everything you're saying, my friend.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
You know what's funny? It's a sign of how far we've come that Tony can say things like, "Oh yeah, I stick with the safer assets," like the Bitcoin and Ethereum of the world,
in crypto,
and that's a totally legit thing to say now, right? And that is a legitimate thing to say. 4 years ago, people would still be laughing at you. Safe? What do you mean this? What do you mean the safe assets? There's no such thing as safe assets. No, there are actually.
Do you want to speak to that? Like how it's become easier? I think this cycle, like in a big, big way, because you now have liquidity and leverage too in these markets, at least Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for me is the liquidity and leverage. In fact, you can really see that on the charts. If you like pulled up
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana too, which is another thing I want to call that out, and then pull up all these other altcoins, the wicks on these altcoins are like 80, 90%. You know,
It's crazy.
Bitcoin lost like 7%, 10%, whatever it was. It's the
Another
same
day.
with Solana and Ethereum. They did not do what these other coins did, where they got completely wiped out. So, you know, if that not alone is a great example of safety, but the truth is, it's liquidity, it's leverage, it's all of these guardrails that are being built by regulators. It's the support and ETFs.
I was going to say it's BlackRock. Is what
it's BlackRock. It really is BlackRock. It's crazy. I think they want to control all the crypto out there, and they're doing it.
It's all the things that the laser eyes and the hodl crowd for the last 15 years has told you. This is why crypto's special, because there is no regulation, there is no BlackRock, and then lo and behold, BlackRock comes in and crypto starts to look more like TradFi markets. And it's great for traders and investors. Wow.
Mind-boggling, isn't it? And I'm the opposite. It's caused me to actually like Bitcoin a little bit less. Like I wanted the fuck you money. I wanted money you can hide from the government. I wanted money, you know what I mean? Like, and that's not what it is anymore. It's the whole cypherpunk movement. Part of it is gone. You know, they're cheering on guys like Michael Saylor. They're cheering on, Trump's Bitcoin reserve thing. And it's like, I don't want governments involved in my money. That was the point. Look at, like, you know what I mean? The fiat system is in trouble, and Bitcoin was appealing to me for those reasons as like a way to opt out. And then it's so ingrained in that system now, integrated into that system now, that it's not the same thing to me. And I wonder what I think that's also why I've taken a little bit more liking to gold recently too, not just because it's doing so well, but gold really is that sort of unbiased money that like no one really can control. It's so, you know what I mean? Like everybody has some.
Tony, this is such an interesting take. As somebody who's obviously interested in this as an appealing part of the Bitcoin story, you think gold is now doing that better? Bitcoin's becoming a lot like every other financial asset, frankly. Right?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's doing it better. I mean, any country right now can go up and buy all the gold they want, and
they are,
compete, and they are.
You're seeing it.
Exactly.
These
So
central banks are buying the hell out of gold.
Is gold the new Bitcoin? Gold is the new Bitcoin.
That's wow, what a statement.
He said it. There you go. That's the tweet, Spencer, for today's show. That's the title of the show.
No, that's what it sounds like you're saying to me. Honestly, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, look, from a trust standpoint, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I trust gold at this point right now more than I would trust a Bitcoin.
That's awesome.
This is great. Well, I love it. Tony, thank you for coming on, man. We'd love to have you back. Enjoy your weekend, and keep on keeping on, fighting the good fight.
Thanks, Tony.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
That was a special treat, really. A special Crypto Friday treat. How appropriate to have Tony the Bull on talking crypto on Crypto Friday.
And the thing he was saying about like the movement not being the movement anymore. I mean, he's right, but also it's the ultimate test of money versus morals, because Bitcoin just made new highs. Ethereum made new high, or was near new highs a couple months ago, right? Solana made a new high, like in January, right? So like all the three largest cryptos.
There's so much good stuff packed in that interview. Think about his attitude too, and how he can separate those two worlds, right? He's disappointed about what Bitcoin's become. He's still trading it more than ever.
Yeah.
Right? It's like real trader stuff there. So it's like, bummer, Bitcoin, not what they sold it to me as 10 years ago.
Yeah. All those libertarians, they were wrong about, at least so far, about what Bitcoin was, but they were right to own Bitcoin in the first place. So
look, I've been kind of mocking this attitude for a long time, as you know, because as somebody who has no dog in that race of, fiat versus, I don't care about Bitcoin for that, right? I like my money in the bank. I'm not going to really change that. So I've always kind of selfishly just wanted more government, more regulation, more institutions, because I knew that would create more certainty and trust around the space and then bring more money, and the prices of the things that I own would go up over time. So that's kind of always been my selfish attitude towards it. But it's really funny to have seen this kind of play out so gradually over, God, 5-10 years now. But the more government, the more regulation, and the more institutions, really, really good stuff for long-term holders of this asset class. That's the truth.
Yeah. Maybe like if I wasn't born in America, I would understand the natural distrust of government more. But I like to your point, I don't really understand it. But it doesn't matter. Bitcoin has been an amazing investment. So it doesn't have to be a currency. It'll never be a currency. But it is an asset. It's a great one. So
I heard this too, Brian here. Tucker Carlson's out there telling people that the CIA invented Bitcoin. You heard this? Don't you think
I did not hear that. I did not hear that. That would be hilarious if that was.
If the government invented Bitcoin, boy, they really let it get away from them over the years.
That would be hilarious. I don't think that's true. But
either.
What do you know? All right.
Satoshi. Everybody knows it was Satoshi.
Yeah, right.
Duh.
Okay, listen, it's 9:27. Let's get out of here before they open. We appreciate you guys for watching as always. Thank you to Tony. Here, you know what? I've got the next several weeks of guests already booked. I'll just preview real fast who is on the show next week. We'll be joined by what's next week's Tommy Lackey, Ari Wald, Sam Rowe, Jeff Mackey. That's the slate of guests for next week.
That's a sick lineup. You need like a thing, like a TV guide, right? We throw up on the screen. It shows all their faces. Coming on.
We should make a graphic and have it scroll really slowly. Yeah, right. And if you miss it, you have to wait for it to come all the way back around again.
You got to rewind it if you want to see Ari's face again.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's a great guest lineup.
We
got to book Mike Hurley. We got to get Mike on.
He's on my list. Shoot. Okay.
He's got some stuff to say right now.
I know. Okay. Thank you for watching. As far as what's on Stock Market TV today, not much. It's a light Friday for us. I will say, if you are a member of All Star Charts Premium, you'll get the conference call recording today. Promise. Also, if you're a member of the Mackey portfolio, as I mentioned, Jeff will be sending you his weekly video as well, sometime early afternoon. And that's what we got. So thank you, everyone. Drop me a like if you're watching us on YouTube, and enjoy your weekend. Go make some money and get outside if it's nice.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed.
Adios.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off.